So, hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Fashionomics Africa Talks. For this episode, we have the pleasure to speak to Ekwerike Chukwuma, the founder of the African fashion art brand WUMAN. Chukwuma aims to use African-inspired fashion as a tool to inspire positive change and herald its art globally. So, Chukwuma, tell us a bit about your story. When did you develop a taste for fashion, and how do you first remember expressing it?
Like I always tell people when they meet me or I meet them is I am primarily an artist. I started drawing since I was a child, and then I got into the university with the aim of studying medicine. Uh, so it was while studying medicine I discovered my love for drawing forms. So particularly I had interest in the female form, and that progressed into abstraction and motifs and symbolism. And at that point, my personal style was becoming um, very strong, and it was a time for me then to express what I felt was inside of me. So I had to put together different kinds of garments and wear them. Although I felt at some point those garments didn't completely express me in the sense that they were coming from other countries. Like I remember I used to wear brands like uh, well, it's a whole lot, Cedarwood, Nike, and the rest. So I wanted something that was more definitive of where I was coming from and my roots. So by experience, I fused all that was happening and all that was going on inside of me with my personal style, and I developed my brand out of it. So WUMAN, my brand name is WUMAN, WUMAN, which is rooted in my name, Chukwuma. So if you take the first four last letters of my name and add an N to it, you have WUMAN. So basically my brand is an avenue, is a tool for me to express myself. It's a tool for me to create positive change and impact. It's a tool for me to show people more about my heritage and culture, like those salient things, like philosophy, the way we think as African people, and the way we live, the way we see things, in a way that I want to put these all these things out or weave them into compositions and have people see them, wear them, embody them, and also share with as many people as possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
If the information we got is right, you believe that fashion can change the world. So how? How can African designers and entrepreneurs design a better world?
Yeah, so that's my I approach design from an angle that I do not know if everyone sees it that way, but for me, design is action. Design surpasses just products or material. It's purpose. Why are you creating something? Are you creating it to just make people feel good, or are you creating it because you just want to express yourself at that time, or you just want to add one more product to a list of products? So basically, I see design as action. So, and when you act, you can either create positive or negative change. So when you have purposeful design, purposeful action, obviously you can create positive impact. So for me, I feel fashion, fashion for me is a voice, it's a very silent voice that speaks a whole lot. So when I look at fashion in terms of changing the world, I look at it from the angle of storytelling, trying to change people's perspectives about life. It could be trying to teach people values. Like from where I come from, we have a whole lot of values. We have a philosophy. And for example, you have Ubuntu. If you have Ubuntu, for example, expressed through a garment, and someone wears Ubuntu, wears that garment, and someone else looks at that garment and says, "Oh, what's the meaning of this?" And you, as a person who is wearing that piece, can explain that, "Oh, this means Ubuntu. Ubuntu means unity. It means finding you in myself or finding yourself in me." Do you understand? It already changes it creates a conversation to start with, and then it changes perspectives, and that can go a long way in making that person a better person. And once that person can act better, that person is designing. The person who wears that garment is already designing that other person's mindset. And the designer already designed it for the person who is wearing it. So you can see fashion creates conversations, and these conversations can metamorphose into so many things, into actions, into behavioral change. So I earlier this year, I came up with a project called "We Must Design a Better World," because I kind of feel the structure or system in which we live in the world, like for example, so much accumulation of wealth at the detriment of, like, in contrast with so many poor people, so many issues of conflict, issues of war. All these are most of the time amplification of egos, people's egos, issues in deficits in character, deficits in behavior and perspectives. So for me, the project was born out of the need to solve a certain issue then, but it has a global angle because obviously I'm trying to tell people that we must design a better world. When I say that, I'm like, a better me, a better you is a better world. So I designed a teacher in collaboration with a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, Dr. Lisa Iboga, and we came together to come up with that project. So it was a capsule collection of ethically made t-shirts, and then we progressed into sweatpants, sweatshirts, notebooks, and supporting socks, pair of socks. So for me, we wanted to use that to raise funds to address a very imminent issue at the time, which is the pandemic, and obviously the will I say inadequacies in personal protective equipment for health workers here in Nigeria. So the idea was to sell the t-shirts and put all the proceeds towards getting these PPEs for doctors. So for me, that's like an angle for which you can use fashion to solve a problem. So at that point, we had to put profit away and say, okay, no, we would channel all these resources to solving these problems. And I believe when so many people, everyone can adopt this sort of mindset, we can virtually solve everyone's need. We can always find a way to find common ground and see how we can be part of people's lives, as opposed to just creating products and making so much money and still having so many issues. Like when you look at forced labor, you look at issues of conflict, war, you look at mortality issues, health issues arising, even health issues arising as a result of forced labor. You can imagine. So for me, fashion is a tool I look at. There are so many tools to creating positive change. But for me, fashion is like my own tool and voice.
Totally agree. Very, very nice. So fashion is a powerful tool to express ourselves and change the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a person running a business, what are some skills or attributes that you have found to be indispensable?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm still learning. I think I'm 7 years in the business, but I would definitely say strong communication skills are very important. Um, Tenacity and discipline in terms of sticking to the fashion system. I myself am personally learning is filled with too many deadlines, and to be able to work and fit within this system, like the global system, you need to have a high level of discipline, and then patience, because you definitely can't expect things to just fall into place at the beginning or at a certain time. So you have to be patient, you have to be dog-headed, you have to be focused, you have to be determined, you have to have a vision and stick to that vision regardless of whatever challenges you may face. So
Perfect.
few nuggets I can give to anybody.
Okay, perfect. Why is it essential for the fashion entrepreneurs and the creative minds like yours to think outside the box?
Well, I think we and I know, and for sure, we live in a very diverse world we have so many people, so many personalities, so many identities, so many characters. So, and that's the beauty of humankind. Humankind is not meant to be boxed into one thing. So you, and that for me translates into the design process as well. So thinking outside the box for me is you communicating things the way you see them. You understand? So it's important that every brand, every designer has a voice, a distinct voice, a unique point of view. Like you, because you as a person, you're a microcosm of the universe. So like when you look at the world as an entity, you are like you have that world too inside of you. And the same thing with the next person close to you. There's also that world. So what you're doing when you design is taking that perspective of yours and putting it out to the next person. And the same thing the next person as well is doing. So I feel it's natural and it's how it's supposed to be, because we all can't say the same thing, or we can't say one thing the same way. So basically thinking outside the box is me communicating how I see things from my own perspective and bringing you into that conversation to understand. And it's important because you definitely have to, for longevity, for for um to be able to have much value, you should show that you have a distinct aesthetic.
Yes. Yes. So where do you see the African fashion industry in a few years? And how do you see Fashionomics Africa's involvement?
Well, I like what is going on. One good thing is a lot of African designers are beginning to tap into the innate gift we have, which is storytelling, which is sustainability has always been our own approach. It's not a new thing, if you ask me. Do you understand? So I like the fact that we designers here, or African designers in diaspora or anywhere, are beginning to embrace that part of them, like embodying their uniqueness, their distinctiveness, and putting it out. And I like what's going on. There's more exposure thanks to the digital world, or the digitization of fashion. Sorry, we have like more of an open space for everyone to come in and express their own point of view. So I see African fashion developing very well. My wish is that we're able to create a system that works for us, because we have our own way of thinking, we have our own ways of doing things. And in as much as we may be looking at global dominance or global recognition, sorry to use the word dominance, global exposure or spread, in a sense, we must remember that we have our own ways, and we must adopt that to suit us. So it has to be a system created by us for us. That's the way I see it. And then with little improvements in technical know-how, manufacturing, which is an issue for a whole lot of designers here, and more of economic stability, because even when you create very good products and you don't have a stable system or economy or political system to back it up, you just see yourself doing so much good work, and you're not getting the right value for that work. So if we can have our governments be more stable, we have more stable economies, we have more support systems, mentorship for designers, loans, programs, accelerators to further enhance their knowledge base, um, um, more, I would say more promotion even within the continent, and all that will go a whole long way. And then we can actually stand as a formidable industry here. And then it's easier to even have footing in the world, or have a stand within the global scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
So
we are all working for that to happen.
Yeah, so I love what Fashionomics is doing. It's great. Thanks to, I think, the AFDB. So it's good trying to see how they can come on board and support designers in various ways. It's actually exciting, and I'm glad personally to be part of the platform.
Thank you. Because you are one of the sellers of the Fashionomics Africa marketplace.
Yeah.
Okay, for those
Yeah.
who don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So WUMAN has been selected as one of the brands to take part in the Innovation Lab organized by the Ethical Fashion Initiative. And more recently, and as you mentioned, you have collaborated with Dr. Lisa to raise funds for needed PPE for healthcare workers in Nigeria. So what else awaits WUMAN this year?
Well, I'm not one person, the type to really state things, because every day, like as an artist, one thing people know me for is spontaneity. I things change as quickly as possible. So I can tell you I'm doing this today, and tomorrow I wake up, I don't want to do it. I want to do something else. But one thing I can say is, for sure, this year and moving forward, my vision is coming to life. It's coming to reality, like a whole lot of things. But everything I can tell you for sure is almost 100% tied to positive impact. So I've come up with ideas, projects that can improve our ways of living. That's aside profit making, which I definitely have to have as a sustainable business. But I have very wonderful projects, collaborations coming up, which I'm so excited, and I can't really wait to share. And a whole lot of development. I do love study and all that, and then storytelling, trying to share more stories with people, trying to engage and have meaningful conversations. Yeah.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much.